What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be going over the rivals of Amziah King. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo, and if you're talking about movies, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you are in the right place. And like I said, today we're talking about the rivals of Amziah King. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, this movie was not on my radar whatsoever, but it wasn't until a couple of other content creators like Cody Leach and that movie guy Chuck were raving about this movie constantly on their podcasts and channels and stuff like that. So of course, since I trust their opinion on a lot of different movies, I wanted to go check it out myself to see what the hype was all about. But before I give you my pros and cons about the rivals of Amziah King, let me know what you guys think about this movie in the comment section down below. Did you even hear about this movie? Are you guys going to go watch it? Definitely let me know what your guys' opinions are on this film. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into my pros. And start my pros, I think just the performances across the board are absolutely incredible. We have Matthew McConaughey playing Amziah, who is just an incredible performance, such a wholesome performance as well. Has a lot of heart and emotion to his character and his just involvement with the community that he's in. This movie takes place within a really small, tight-knit community. Everybody knows who's Amziah is. Everybody is friendly. He cares for all these different people. He just tries to do right by everybody. So I think Matthew McConaughey's character as Amziah is actually a very, very wonderful performance, and one of McConaughey's best performances for sure, and something that if enough people go watch this movie, it could generate some Oscar buzz for sure. But not just McConaughey is the only good performance here. I think everybody else does a fantastic performance, and there's no one out that stands out to me as much as McConaughey, but everybody around him just has that really friendly vibe, very wholesome vibe. And I think they all kind of portray that very loving community that just kind of surround the character McConaughey. You have some more wacky, crazy characters than others that, bring some good comedic relief or some emotion or some more serious moments as well. So, but I do think across the board performances were done very, very well. I think this movie was shot extremely beautifully. The color palette of this movie is so warm. Just the way also the camera works, the shot work, it just makes this movie feel a lot more action-packed than what it really is. Because if you don't know what this movie is about really, is you have Amziah, who is a beekeeper, and there's a bunch of beekeepers in this area, and there's someone going around stealing bees and honey. And so his business is being threatened because of that. And it's just kind of the revelations of who is doing this, how to somewhat get revenge and stuff like that. Like the first half of this movie is very just wholesome and sweet and like kind of world building this community. And the second half is all about trying to figure out who is stealing all this honey and bees and what businesses are getting involved and all these different things, and the cops are getting involved and all that stuff. So it definitely takes like a full 180. Like you can see where that goes from, act 1 into act 2, swinging over into act 3. It's very easy to kind of tell when that's starting to happen. And it does a full 180 in terms of the tone of this movie. But because of that premise where it sounds super simple, just a beekeeper whose business is threatened because people are stealing bees might not sound that interesting. But the way they filmed the movie, the way they score the movie, the color palettes, the dialogue, the seriousness of McConaughey's character when it comes to certain subject matters, it makes the movie feel a lot more epic and intense. And it kind of keeps you at the edge of your seat for a good amount of it, because it is very interesting for someone that's never kept bees. Obviously, we don't know how crazy this business can really get, and honey could, cost a lot of money. So this is a big business that that they're dealing with here. Like it almost seems like this honey is like they're drug trafficking, because how lucrative it is and how it's being portrayed, of how it gets processed and barreled up and transferred, and all these different businesses want territories and different bees and all this kind of stuff. So it kind of seems almost like a drug trafficking movie, but it's just basic bee honey. Just the way they film it is just so intense in that way, where the cops get involved and they're investigating businesses and where's the honey going, who took the honey, who this honey belongs to. So I think just the way they filmed it, the shot choices, the character work, it just all leads for a very interesting movie on a premise that sounds very simple. And it's a little difficult to talk about this movie in full capacity because there is a turning point in this movie where something happens with McConaughey's character that I won't obviously go into because I think you should watch it. But again, it takes that full 180 and things get a lot more serious and a lot more dark, where we're starting to fully investigate, not using the cops, just investigate ourselves, is the characters that we've been following, of who has been involved in taking this honey, where are they keeping it, who do they sell it to, where are they secretly storing it, and them trying to kind of somewhat get revenge and take their honey back and take their business back. And that half of the movie is honestly pretty awesome. Just seeing them navigate through all these different branches and try to kind of uncover this mystery of who is taking this honey. And you have a lot of cool characters that get involved in during this time and help out these characters to kind of regain back their business. And I can't say too much because then it gives it away what happens. So it just know it's a big turning point in the movie that brings in a lot of emotion, brings in a lot of heart, and then it goes full on like revenge type situation of the movie. So I think it brings a lot of things that movie lovers are going to enjoy, where you have great character work, you have a lot of great emotion, you have a lot of great like action sequences, intense moments, great dialogue, and fantastic camera work that just brings together a complete package that is very much enjoyable. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my cons. And there's like an overarching con. It's not like little things here and there, because like I said, the movie itself is filmed so well, the dialogue, and it's written so well that the movie itself just is fantastic. But there's something like an overarching problem where I feel as if there's not enough like at stake here. There's not enough emotion. There's not enough like consequences. While things happen that are terrible, that you would say, well, those are kind of consequences for actions that happen. I can agree with that. And again, I'm not going to go into specifics here, but there's just something missing in this movie, whether it's something that happens to a character or the way they amp up the intensity towards the end. If it should have been more amped up, if it should have brought a little bit more emotion, if we should have learned a little bit more about someone's background to kind of feel more invested in them, so it didn't seem so like we're just following a random person just to follow them. That I think there's something missing like that in the story that could have been expanded upon a little bit more, so you feel a little bit more connection, you feel a bit more emotion, and when things start to go off the rail, it feels more intense for you as well. So there's just something like that missing in this movie that would have made it one of the best movies of the year. So it's still a extremely enjoyable film, but you do leave the movie going, at least for me personally, I did leave the movie kind of going like, wow, that was really, really good, but could have been better. And that could also be the expectations of this movie being hyped up so much by content creators that do movie reviews that I highly trust, and then talking about that this was their favorite movie last year at a movie festival, and if this movie was involved in their ranking for this year, this would undoubtedly be number one of the year so far. So when you go into a movie with those kind of expectations, you do expect a little more. So I can kind of fault myself for letting me expect something way crazier than what I really was. I never saw a trailer. I never saw a premise or anything. All I knew was go watch The Rivals of Amziah King. And that's all I knew about this movie. Just the title and that Matthew McConaughey was in it. I didn't even know that he was a beekeeper. I really didn't. So going into this movie super, super blind with super high expectations could have tainted a little bit of my viewing experience. But overall, it is still a fantastic, enjoyable movie. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.